Everyone, Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach. So in a few minutes, we'll recite Yizkor. We remember our loved ones who are no longer here with us physically, but always with us in spirit. We know that memory plays a critical role in Jewish tradition, underscoring the importance of memory for sustaining human societies. Elie Wiesel wrote, "Without memory, there is no culture. Without memory, there would be no civilization, no society, no future." I read a beautiful Devar Torah this week by Dr. Rabbi Bill Plevin, a friend of mine. He wrote about the interplay between personal and communal memory. You see, Plevin's mother died in October, and while he has his own memories, the stories that people told him added so much to create a more full and vivid picture of who his mother was. For example, he knew that his mom was a successful attorney, but the stories that he heard from other people was about how much that she did to mentor young lawyers. Dr. Plevin wrote, "I still think of my mother as the one who baked my birthday cakes and as the one who took me shopping for clothes. But now the memories of others have become integrated with mine. Now my mother is also the consummate mentor, advocate for gender and racial equity, an exemplar of professional integrity. The miracle of memory is that these personal accounts from different people come together and, along with my memories, form a new whole." As we mark Yom HaShoah on Wednesday night and Thursday, I'm thinking about Dr. Plevin's idea about this interplay between personal and communal memory. In particular, what should our communal memory be when it comes to the Shoah, when it comes to the Holocaust? Of course, part of our communal memory has to be the historical record of Nazi evil. But our communal memory also must include personal stories, stories of struggle, of suffering, but of resilience and ultimately of triumph and survival. These personal stories are what really penetrate our souls. And so, in thinking about today, Yizkor today, I decided to look back at funerals over which I've officiated, and I chose a few of the people who were survivors of the Shoah. I wanted to share their stories with all of us this morning, again, to add to our collective memory when we think about the Holocaust. Now, I chose 3, but really 5 individuals, and 1 individual and 2 couples, and I reached out, because they're all members of the synagogue, and so I reached out to them and I said, "Hey, I'm going to share your loved one's story." Each one of them, they're all out of town with grandchildren today. And I think that's beautiful, and I think that the loved ones who I'm going to mention would have really appreciated that. One of the individuals was Michael Katz. He died only a few weeks ago, the father of Amos Katz, father-in-law of Arlene. He died at the age of 96. He evaded the gas chambers numerous times. One time he jumped off a truck that was headed there. He knew that if he didn't, that he would have been murdered. He also survived one of the death marches, and he made his way to Israel. And again, he lived to be 96. He built a beautiful family. At Auschwitz, Joe Mandelbaum was surrounded by death, and he realized that every hour could be his last. But Joe thought, "I want to live. I want to have a wife. I want to have children." And so he made staying alive in the death camp his mission. He understood that every moment he lived, he himself was a testament to the goodness of life. In 1995, 50 years after the liberation of Auschwitz, Joe returned to his hometown and to Auschwitz with his entire family. He spoke passionately to Polish and German groups because he spoke both languages about his experience during the Shoah. With pride, Joe showed them his family, proof that the Nazis did not defeat him. He and his wife Lena were married for 65 years, and they also created an amazing, amazing family. Alex Trieber walked from Birkenau to Dachau, drinking snow and eating grass just to stay alive. He was so emaciated that he stayed in a kind of rehab facility for a full year. After the war, Alex met Claire, another orphan who survived Auschwitz, and in 1948 they went to Israel. They learned Hebrew. They helped defend the fledgling state in the War of Independence. They were married in 1949, and they were together for almost 70 years. By the way, Joe Mandelbaum is the father of Sherry Kameyer and Gladys Krellenstein. And Alex and Claire Trieber are the parents of Laureen Verode. What I find so inspiring about these individuals is that Hitler neither defeated them nor did he define them. They each lived lives filled with love and accomplishment and family. And this, I think, these stories, this is what needs to be part of our collective memory of the Shoah, not just the darkness and the destruction, but these inspiring stories of people who rose above, who survived, and who thrived after the war. Because this is what I think inspires us to stand up against any tyranny in the world where it exists, to make sure that the Shoah never happens again. This needs to be part of our collective memory. The Nazis did wreak havoc on us and on the world, but they did not win, because we are here. And so all of this is what I will think about on Wednesday evening when we have our Yom HaShoah program and commemoration, and of course moving forward. Amen.